So I was browsing through some of my old videos and I came across this one. This was filmed in 2018 in last July when I went to England. I actually went to Europe and I visited 4 countries last year, but this was my trip with my friend Eddie and we went to the Lake District, which is north of Manchester. It's near Blackpool. It's kind of in the middle of England. It's a very pretty area, as you will see on this video. This is just a little road trip that we took in between the different lakes. We were driving to a town called Windermere. So this video made me think that there are things about England that I do miss. There aren't that many, but I will try to focus on the positives and tell you what I do miss. So as this video is showing, England can be very, very beautiful if the weather is nice and it's not pouring rain. When it's sunny, it's gorgeous. The parts of England that are really pretty, or I should say the parts of Britain, because I want to include Scotland in that. The parts of Britain that are worth visiting are, in my biased opinion, the Lake District, which is what you can see in the video. So the Lake District is, as the name suggests, full of lakes and mountains, or rather tall hills. It's got a lot of beautiful lakes. They're all clean. You can swim in them. I don't know if you can fish in all of them, but you can camp there. You can stay in really cute, cozy Airbnbs and hotels. I would definitely recommend going to the Lake District. And don't just go to Windermere. That's like the main town. You should explore some of the smaller towns and other lakes rather than Lake Windermere, because that's where everyone usually goes, and it becomes really crowded if you go there in July or August. So try going, first of all, not outside of July and August, and second of all, try exploring places other than just Windermere and Lake Windermere. Okay. What else do I miss about England? I miss my friends. So I have like 1, 2, 3, 4 friends that I miss from England, and maybe 5, 4 or 5, let's say 4. So that's one thing I miss. Unfortunately, what happened was when I lived in England, our lives really started to change. So we had this close-knit group of friends at work, and we would hang out and go out every single weekend, and Friday night, Thursday night. After work, we would go to the pub and drink and just have a good time, and we would kind of get merry and get tipsy and fool around, and we would also go to each other's houses and play silly games and play video games and watch movies and drink. Drinking was part of every activity that we did. So I do miss hanging out with my crazy friends. But what started happening is, over the years, our personal lives started diverging. So all of my friends got girlfriends, and eventually they married those girlfriends. They started families, they started having kids, whereas I never did that. I never settled down with anyone. I was always living alone in England in my house. So I found myself being this single guy who wanted to settle down, but I just never found anybody in England. So that was one part of the dynamic that really changed, because once you get married, then your wife wants you to hang out with her all the time. You don't have as much time for your friends, and the women want to start having babies. So the guys are basically, their freedom becomes a lot more limited, and they're basically committed to their new family rather than their friends, which makes sense. I don't blame them for that. That's just how things happen. So that was one reason why I was willing to give up my friendships, because they changed and those people were moving on with their lives, and I wanted to move on with my life, and it was time to leave England and start a new chapter in the United States. So that's one thing I miss, is I really miss my friends. What else do I miss in England? I miss the security. So although not really that much, because I feel pretty secure over here. But I suppose I miss the security of having healthcare where I don't have to worry about what happened. Now, I've never had to use healthcare in the United States apart from my green card application. I had to go and do my medical exam and get vaccinated, and that cost me $500. But apart from that, I haven't had to use American healthcare at all, American medical care. I know I don't have insurance right now, so anything I would want done, like even something as simple as the doctor checking my throat or taking my temperature, which obviously I'm not going to do, even for that I would have to pay out of pocket. So whereas in England, I actually fell off my bike in England one time and I broke my hand, and it was cracked. It wasn't like broken, but it was, my bone cracked, and I had to go to the emergency room, and no one has asked me for any ID. No one asked me for any money. I didn't even ask for my passport. It was crazy. I just walked in and they sat me down. I did have to wait for over 2 hours, but eventually they got to me and they did an x-ray and they put my arm in a cast. The paperwork was minimal. I just had to fill out one page, put my name down, where I lived, and put my phone number down. I never had to give my credit card or a social security number. Over there it's called the national insurance number. I don't know, maybe I had to give that. I don't think I had to give that. It was just very, very straightforward. Now, that was many years ago. I don't know if that's still the case, but I suppose that's one thing that I would miss, is the security of having free healthcare. What else do I miss? I miss mild summers, because the summers here are so hot. Whereas in England, the summers... Actually, no, I take that back. The summers are crappy in England. You only get, like, what you can see in this video, you don't get a lot of that. What you can see in this video only lasts for maybe 3 days in a row, and then it becomes cloudy and rainy. It's very, very rare that we have beautiful sunny weather like this for more than a week. Extremely rarely. It never stays here. It stays around for a week. It always goes away. So actually, British summers are pretty challenging when you like sunny weather. What else do I miss about England? So I'm in Bolton, England, which is a little town near Blackpool. It's a beautiful, gorgeous town. Oh, I love this town. Every time I come to a place like that, I think I could live here. And then I want to live here. I want to just move to this place. I'm so compulsive and impulsive. Oh, there's my friend behind me. I'm not going to show him. But anyway, could I live in this place? I was going to say the pub culture, but I miss the pub culture, and I miss that there are these traditional pubs everywhere you can just go in and have a drink. Although we have bars in the States, so I would say that's a good replacement. I can go downtown and go to several bars where I can sit behind the bar and just order a beer or a wine, and it's kind of the same thing. The decor is very different. They're not traditional British pubs with wooden paneling or tacky wallpapers. They're more modern looking bars. But apart from the physical differences, the concept is the same. I can go into any bar and have a drink, and people here are very friendly, and I can talk to anybody. And I suppose that's the same in England. Oh, here's what I miss. I miss everything being close together. Because England is a lot smaller, people live closer together, so it's never super far to go anywhere. Here, if I want to go to a different town, or like if I want to go to LA, it's a pain in the ass. I have to drive for many hours. In England, you just get on the train and you're there in half an hour or 1 hour or 2 hours. And here, the distances are much, much longer. And I had a car in England, so I could drive, and it wasn't... The furthest drive I've ever done was to go to Scotland, or to go to the South Coast. But compared to the States, even that was a pretty short drive. Over here, like if I wanted to go to, I don't know, Missouri, it would be like a 20-hour drive. So you never drive that far in England. What else do I miss? It's difficult to come up with things because I don't really miss England, but I'm trying to make a positive video. I'll say the trains. I miss the train network here in the States. The trains are very limited. Yes, we have trains in the States, Amtrak, and maybe some other local companies, but out here in California, there's very little trains. There's a train that goes from San Francisco down to San Diego along the coast, but it's more of a touristy thing. It's not really used by commuters to get to work, to commute daily, because it's just too slow and the distance is too long. I think they have a better train network in the tri-state area, like New York City, between New York City, Philadelphia, and maybe New Jersey, that area in the northeast. But out here in the west, they don't have a lot of trains. They have trains between bigger cities. I just want to add that my friends actually visited me here for my wedding because I got married this year. And the 4 of my best friends flew over from England to attend my wedding, and we had a blast. The wedding was in Las Vegas, and we had a great time. So yeah, it shows you that they are actually very good friends, because I gave them a very short notice because my marriage was very sudden, and they still managed to book the tickets and made their way over here. So I love my friends for that, and those are the people the thing that I miss about England the most. I think I'm gonna make a video of things I don't miss about England, and that'll be a lot easier to make because there are more things I don't miss about England than there are things I miss about England. So, oh, here it is. So I miss the quality of beer, the quality of drinks. For example, when you go to an English pub, you will have a wide variety of beers and ales and ciders and even wines most of the time. Or if you want to drink wine, you go to a wine bar. You don't only go to a pub. But the pubs will have amazing beers. I remember this one time we went to York, and we went to this local pub in York, and most of the beers they had were local beers that you couldn't get in London or in Scotland. They were just local beers from Yorkshire, and you could get a flight, like a tasting of different beers, and we did that, and it was amazing. It was beers I had never heard of, I had never seen before, and they were all just so different, and the flavors were really interesting. So I miss the variety of beer, the quality of beer that you can get in the UK as opposed to here in America. Here